So in plant kingdom, the first group are algae. The term algae was given by Linnaeus scientist, and Fritsch is considered as father of phycology, and M.O.P. Iyengar is considered as the father of phycology in India. Here, actually algae means seaweeds. The term having derived from that concept, and here majority of the algae are aquatic. Particularly some terrestrial are there, very few terrestrial are there, and when it is aquatic, they may be either freshwater or marine water species. Then some may be microscopic and very few are macroscopic in their nature. Here if you see the organization where they are surviving, and here in the ecological concept, so these are occupying the position of producers, in which nearly 90% of aquatic system, the photosynthesis is performed by these organisms, which are considered with a major contribution in the food chains in the form of producers. And if you observe the distribution habitat of other things, so some of them are growing in the extreme conditions also, like some are growing in the hot springs, whereas some of them are growing in the cold temperatures, like in snow regions also, like Chlamydomonas nivalis. And Chlamydomonas nivalis, and in the same way Chlamydomonas yellowstonensis. So these are the one which are growing in the mountains, snow mountain regions. Likewise, a lot of diversity is there in the habitat in which they are surviving. Then some organisms are present in symbiotic association with the sloth bear. They will survive in the hair of sloth bear also. So likewise, there is a lot of diversity in the habitat nature of the algal members. Then range of thallus structure. Actually, these algal members are having thalloid plant body, that is plant body is undifferentiated into root, stem and leaf. So here it is made up of either single cell or a group of cells. So it may be, they may be either unicellular or multicellular. So if they are unicellular, some may be motile and some may be non-motile in their nature. The unicellular motile one are Chlamydomonas. And the unicellular non-motile are Chlorella. At the same time, there are some colonial forms. That is, many unicellular algal members are present as a group and surrounded by some mucilaginous sheath. So these are called as a colonial forms. This can be seen in examples like in volvox. So which are surrounded by or enveloped by mucilaginous sheath. So in this colonial form, each individual organism will function by itself and they are independent of each other. So this type of independent nature will be existing in the colonial forms. When it comes to the multicellular forms, they may be either filamentous. That is, the cells are arranged one after the other in the form of a filament, and in this filamentous form also some of them are branched filamentous and some of them are unbranched filamentous. Unbranched filamentous are present in Spirogyra, whereas branched filamentous are also being seen some of the members like in Cladophora. And some members are multicellular and heterotrichous. So heterotrichous nature is seen in the higher algal members like in Ectocarpus. And also in Frischella. And some of them are siphonous in their nature in Caulerpa. And some will show pseudo-parenchymatous in their nature. That is in Batrachospermum. And some of them are showing parenchymatous sheath. In Ulva. Likewise, there is a lot of diversity in the range of thallus. Maybe they are organized in different thallus forms, but the one thing is nowhere we can see the plant having root, stem and the leaves. All the time they does not have this type of organization, but they are performing all the functions as like that of a normal photosynthetic organism. Now the cell structure. So the cells of algae are eukaryotic in their nature, and they have cell wall. The cell wall is mostly made up of cellulose and pectin. But apart from these two components, in some of the members of algae, they may be made up of xylon, agar, carrageenan, silica, algin, mannan, like different types of organic compounds may be there in the cell wall. Then inside the cell wall, the plasma membrane is present. This plasma membrane is made up of lipoproteins. That is, lipids and proteins are present. And here the cell wall does not have the perforations, and the plasmodesmatic connections are generally absent. And as these are eukaryotic in the nature, the protoplasm is present. That is, vacuolated and nucleated cytoplasm is present, which contains almost all the cell organelles which have to be present in a eukaryotic organism. Then apart from this one, the reserve food metals are present. Depending upon the type of algae, different types of food metals are present. Like they store the food metals in the form of starch. In green algae, generally the food metals stored in the form of starch in a proteinaceous body. Those proteinaceous bodies are called as pyrenoids. And some will have laminarin, mannitol, some have Floridian starch. Likewise, the different types of forms of reserve food metals are present in different groups of algal members. Then the type of pigments which are present in them. They have chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, and exclusive algal pigments are there. Those are chlorophyll C, chlorophyll D, chlorophyll E, and carotenoids is a common type of pigment which is present in algae also. Apart from that one, they have unique type of or exclusive type of pigments are present. Those are called as phycobilins. All these are concerned with the photosynthetic process and performing the food materials. Then coming to the next process, that is reproduction. These members will exhibit vegetative, asexual method and sexual method of reproductions. So let us see what are the different types of vegetative, asexual and sexual methods. Here, starting with the first one, vegetative method of reproduction. This vegetative process may either occur by fragmentation or by cell division, by formation of buds, that is budding process, and tuber formation. Second one is a asexual method of reproduction. Here they produce some special structures called as spores, which are being separated from the parent plant and germinate to give rise to the new individuals. Different types of spores are formed. Those are zoospores. Zoospores are the motile spores which are formed inside a zoosporangium. And next one is aplanospores. Aplanospores are the non-motile spores. Then next one is autospores. So these are the spores which resemble the parent. At the same time, hypnospores. So hypnospores are the one which form thick cell wall around the aplanospores, and these are formed during unfavorable conditions. And these structures will whenever the favorable conditions are retained, the hypnospores will germinate and give rise to the new individuals. Next one is acinids. Acinids are the structures which are having thick wall around them, and these are formed in the vegetative cells. Here also, whenever these acinids start germinating, they give rise to the new individuals. The next one is tetraspores. These are the spores which are formed by meiosis, so we call them as a meiospores, and which are haploid, and that means they initially are diploid, and when they undergo meiosis they produce the haploid spores, so that's why we call them as a meiospores. Then palmella stage. Palmella stage is the one where the mucilage is a structure which surround around the group of zoospores or aplanospores. Here zoospores means which are motile in their nature, and aplanospores are the non-motile structures. Around these structures, the mucilage will form a covering like structure. That type of structures are called as a palmella stage. So these are different types of asexual structures which are formed in the members of algae. So next one is a sexual reproduction. In algal members, the sexual reproduction occurs by formation of gametes. Here, based on the type of gametes, that is male and female gametes, so based on the nature of this or size and structure function of these male gametes and the female gametes, so there are different types of methods are there. Isogamy or isogamous condition. Second one is anisogamy. Some will exhibit physiological anisogamy and oogamy condition. Isogamy is a condition where the male and female gametes are structurally and functionally similar. Anisogamy is a condition where the fusing gametes are structurally and functionally dissimilar, whereas a physiological anisogamy is a condition where the two fusing gametes are structurally similar but functionally dissimilar. Oogamy is a condition where the male gametes are small and motile, whereas female gametes are large and may be motile or non-motile. So here oogamy is the advanced method when compared to the other methods of sexual reproduction. So here based on this one, isogamy with motile gametes, it can be seen in Chlamydomonas, whereas isogamy with non-motile gametes can be seen in Spirogyra. So in Spirogyra, the male gamete, sometimes the female gametes also show amoeboid movement, but it is not a motile structure because they does not have any organs of locomotion. Then anisogamy can be seen in some of the members of Chlamydomonas, like Chlamydomonas brownie. And physiological anisogamy is also been seen in some members of Spirogyra. And when it comes to oogamy, oogamy is considered to be the advanced one, where it can be seen in almost all the higher algal members which are belonging to Phaeophyceae and the Rhodophyceae. And when it comes to the Rhodophyceae members, like in Polysiphonia, they have some complex nature, that is changes will occur after fertilization. Those are called as post fertilization changes. So here it will form a cystocarp also, so which is considered to be the fruiting body like structure. So likewise many such complex structures will be formed after fertilization in the examples like in Polysiphonia. Likewise these are some different types of methods of sexual reproductions which are exhibited by the members of Algae. Based on which stage does the meiosis is taking place? So majority of them are showing zygotic meiosis, that is zygote will undergo meiosis to produce a haploid plant body, and if zygotic meiosis will occur, haplontic life cycle is present, where the zygote is the only diploid stage, whereas all other stages are haploid in their nature. And some will show gametic meiosis also. So some exceptional cases are there, and if you observe the life cycle, some of them will show diplontic life cycle, where gametes are the only haploid structures, whereas all other structures are diploid in their condition, where during the formation of gametes the meiosis will takes place. So likewise some members are exhibiting haplontic and some members are exhibiting diplontic, but majority of the members are showing haplontic life cycle only. And there are some members of Algae which are showing two diploid stages. Those are haplo diplobiontic life cycle.